Hi guys, welcome back. I hope all of you are doing well. It's a Sunday, and I hope all of you all are spending time having like a quality time with your families and just chilling, right? So today we're going to be talking again of Q1FY25 results of three companies. So we'll be talking about three companies: Thangamayil Jewellers, Westlife Foodworld, and Bella Casa Fashion. Okay, so you will see the result of these three companies are in a spectrum where one has been good, one has been terrible, and the other one that is there has been outstanding, blockbuster, whatever you want to call it. Really out of the park kind of result. So I'm going to cover all the three companies, and you can just by the end of the video infer as to which company is what kind of result. So first let us talk about, I have my notes over here just to make sure that I don't miss out on any points. Okay, so first we're going to talk about Thangamayil Jewellers. Okay, so if you look at Thangamayil Jewellers, I'll just spend in the first 2 minutes explaining the business model of all the companies. So Thangamayil Jewellers, from the name itself you can infer that these people sell jewelry, specifically gold, diamond, those kind of jewelries, and they're very prominent in the state of Tamil Nadu. Actually, you see that they sell only in Tamil Nadu. They're a very concentrated player over there. Geographical concentration is there. Unlike if you see Kalyan, Senco, and Titan, which Kalyan and Titan has a pan-India presence. Kalyan is also doing that, and Senco is right now venturing also into different states. So unlike either of these three listed players that we have in the B2C space in jewelry category, you will see that Thangamayil is quite different as to they're very, very concentrated in Tamil Nadu, and they do not have any plans of expanding to any other states or any other regions. Okay, so all of this while you will see this company has clocked a really good growth rate like any other jewelry company. They've always been clocking around north of 20% only. They've also been one of the beneficiaries of the entire jewelry space booming, because if you look over the last 2 years, we have seen immense amount of tailwind in the entire jewelry space. Now a reason for that is, of course, because two reasons for that is we've seen a lot of shift happening from unorganized space to organized space, and that is because of the government has done a lot of regulations that has supported this. One is the hallmarking of jewelry, which makes it easier for people to not be fooled, and the other one is the linking of Aadhaar and PAN card to your whenever you're purchasing the jewelry, right? So these two has really pushed and given an immense tailwind to shift your entire demand from unorganized space to organized space. So Thangamayil, like all the other jewelry players that are there, have also been beneficiary of this. So if you look at Q1FY25 result has been really great. Okay, so if you look, the revenue that is there has grown by 27%, but the PAT that is there, like all this while you would have seen this company got immense operating leverage. Okay, but right now you see that the PAT has degrown by 3.5%. Okay, now the PAT has degrown a little bit. Even if you look at the same store sales growth, if you look at Q1 of last year, the same store sales growth was 24.7, right, 24.3, and this quarter the same store sales growth that is there is around 19.7, right? Is around 19.7. Even in terms of the volumes that you see, that the number of kgs of gold that they've sold, in terms of percentage, if you look last time and all, like I think even in last quarter it was around double digit, and this time it is 8%. So you will see in three metrics that is there, although the earnings growth has been quite well, you will see that the three parameters, whether it is in terms of PAT, whether it is in terms of your SSG, whether it is in terms of your gold volumes, right, that has not performed, like I would say, relatively not performed well if you compare the previous quarters or all the while throughout the year how the performance has been. Now of course this could be one of the reason is the operating leverage has taken a hit, is because they are also expanding rapidly in the in Tamil Nadu. As a result, your expenses that are operating expenses that is there, whether it is staff, your marketing expenses have gone up. So that is one of the reason. And the second reason why this quarter would have taken way more hit compared to any other quarter is, as you all know, April, May and June we had very horrible summer. We had a lot of heat waves, right? That is one thing, and we also had elections. Now when you have elections, what happens is you can't carry more than 50,000 rupees, right? And if there's a lot of these checkpoints and everything, and you get questioned why you're carrying blah 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 XYZ things. So a lot of these people who do cash transaction, that has been stopped because of the entire election fiasco. The other one is, like I told you, we've had really horrible summers. We had terrible heat waves throughout the country, and Tamil Nadu, as a result, Tamil Nadu is in the coastal part of the south of India, right? Of course, you can imagine how terrible it would have been compared to the states, compared to the cities here right now here in Bangalore, right? So of course that also would have played. And see, when you're buying a gold jewelry is a high ticket item, right? And you wouldn't find people buying these high ticket item from websites or from online. brand. You will always would see it is, since it is like a high ticket item, you would want that trust factor. It is always much better to go to store. Like people have that thing, like if you go to stores, they have that satisfaction. They get to see, they get to touch, they get to feel the gold or the jewelry that they're purchasing. As a result, of course, the walk-ins have been, I think, drastically reduced. Again, this is my assumption, because of this heat wave, because this is a very common factor that we're seeing in Q1 across spectrum, across the industry. So maybe this is one of the reason that, the operating leverage has been quite a miss this quarter, which we have seen relatively through all of these. Okay. So again, in terms of at least I would say top line has been quite fantastic, right? You, at least one good thing is you've not seen the top line fall, which we've seen for other companies. Like you saw that Kalyan grew by 27%, way well and good. Titan on the other hand grew by 11%, but Senco, which is I would say relatively in the same category as Thangamayil Jewellers, because Senco ka abhi bhi like 85% of the revenue comes from West Bengal, right? The only difference is Senco is trying to venture out and go into new states and trying to experiment that, whereas Thangamayil is like no, I'm happy staying here. So that is the only difference between Senco and Thangamayil. But having said that, Senco hardly grew by 9% this time, whereas Thangamayil grew by 27%. That goes to show you around, at least in this parameter, if you see just in earnings growth, in spite of whatever the heat waves and XYZ things that are happening here, the top line has been quite consistent and good. Okay. So this is about Thangamayil Jewellers. Let's now go to Westlife Foodworld. So Westlife Foodworld, you would have seen McDonald's, right? So Westlife Foodworld has the rights to set up stores and franchise out McDonald's in India, and they're primarily concentrated in the western and the southern markets of India. Okay, so if you look at the entire QSR space, you will know that, right, we have been facing a lot of problems over here in the QSR space. Like how you've seen for a jewelry, the last 2 years has been immense tailwind, and a lot of things has gone right for them. Whereas QSR space, it is quite the opposite. There has been a lot of headwinds that is like literally crumbling the sector over here. Again, like it's quite amusing, right? Like two different sectors. Like last 2 years has been really good for them, but at the same time for this one, last 2 years has been quite horrible. So QSR, like I've covered in all of my videos before, you can actually go and check. I've done it very comprehensively. QSR ka problems are, one was we saw that the demand started falling for them. One of the reason is, of course, because of their products are not matching up to the category, and now there is immense competition, right? Like you will find hundreds of people selling in the street, very affordable kind of food, which was their moat, very affordable and quick. And we have the likes of Zomato and Swiggy come into the food delivery space, which is literally killing the competition over here, because anybody can set up a cloud kitchen and give you the delivery to your home ultimately. So both of these things, if you see, and has been really putting the entire QSR space in a very terrible position over here. Not just that, if you look at the entire how do I put this, entire QSR space, they mostly work on this value chain and value products. And what happens is when your inflation goes up, these value products that are there, they do not stand a lot of margins over here, which is again the kind of situation that we're facing right now. So all in all, the situations or what we've seen over the past 2 years, it is only getting worse and worse every quarter that you see, right? If we do not see a light, we do not see the light at the end of the tunnel for this industry getting better. And this quarter is no different over here. We see that the sales is flat, right? If you look at the PAT that is there, PAT is degrown by a whooping 30.9%. You can just imagine how bad, how terrible the situation is. If you look at SSG for Westlife Foodworld in Q1FY25 is negative 6.5%, literally negative. And last Q1, that is Q1 of FY24, it was positive plus 7.5%, and right now it is negative 6.5. Again, I hope you all can fathom, how bad the situation is, right? So again, I do not want to talk more about this. Again, what is there when there is no earnings, PAT is degrowing, SSG is not going well. Whatever the incremental sales you're getting is because you're setting up a new store, because whenever you put up a new store, there is this rush to get in and try the products and everything, right? And there is that incremental sale that comes from that. It's only because of that. This is a very good case study, as to why SSG is important, like same store sales growth when you talk about, because a lot of people, when they're doing these QSR space, when they're doing jewelry space and everything, they discard the same store sales growth and they consider it as to be like, same store sales growth is not important, right? It's like telling, in bull market, everybody's like, yeah, cash flows is not important. Who checks balance sheet? What is asset liability mismatch? Nobody gives a rat's ass shit about it, right? It's the same thing over here. When the demand is good and everything, you wouldn't care a lot about SSG. But now think about it, the demand is not there, the situation is worse. Imagine like the existing store have to make money for you to fund your operations. But now how will you open new stores ultimately, right? You need the existing operations to make money for you, to be a cash cow for you, so that you can use that money from your existing stores to open new stores, to fund your operations and everything. Now imagine today's situation that we have, where the SSG is very bad and everything. Like now I hope you all understand like why SSG becomes a very, very crucial parameter in terms of QSR and other very capex heavy industries that you talk about, especially in the retail space, right? I would say this is a perfect live case example. So over here, again, I do not want to talk more about it. Like I told you, there is nothing to talk about because the situation is the same. In fact, it gets worse. We do not see the light in terms of improvement. So that's that. Okay, now we'll go to a new company. It is called as Bella Casa Fashion. Okay, so Bella Casa Fashion is, okay, again, it's a very new company actually, and it has been, okay, I'll let that for you to infer whether it